So how's the market doing? We're going to talk about it in this walk and talk video. Do me a favor before we get started. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you would, so you can hear from me when I post new videos, assuming that you want to. That'd be great. All right, let's talk about it. Next week, looks like Fed rate cuts, potentially, looking good for Fed rate cuts. Why is that? I believe we're going to see it because inflation was not as hot as I think they thought it was going to be, or some anyway. It came in at 3.0. I think they were expecting 3.1, so they were hoping for 2.9, so they kind of got in the middle, so that was good. Markets responded positively to that. Why does that happen? Because they know that when inflation goes down, the Fed's going to cut the rates. When inflation goes up, they're going to not cut the rates. We're going to raise the rates in order to curb inflation. That's typically the game that they play. And so that was good. And the markets responded very, very well to that news. So that's a good thing. We have a potential deal with the whole trade war with China and the United States. We'll see. Hopefully we can get something worked out. We'll see. And I think that's going to be positive, just like negative crushes us, right? Anytime Trump says something about the trade in a negative way, markets don't like it. So anyway, we're going to see what happens next week. Global liquidity is increasing. It has been increasing for quite a while. The global M2 money supply is astronomical. It just keeps climbing. It's straight up and down, and it keeps going higher and higher and higher. The amount of money that's in money market funds here in the United States is $8 trillion, right at it-ish, right around the $8 trillion. I mean, that's just money on the sidelines just waiting to go somewhere. And as we've said in the past, when people don't get the yield that was as high as, what, 5.25? Not that long ago, and now it's down to under 4, 3.75, 3.5 to 3.75. You know, that money isn't getting the yield that it once did, so that money's going to try to find a way to make more money. So that's a good thing. The financial conditions remain really loose, meaning that the willingness for banks and money to be lent is still loose. It's not tight. It's so that's good. That's good news. We want to see stuff like that for the markets anyway. Another thing we've got coming here soon, I believe they would have already come out, but because of the government shutdown, and we'll talk more about that here in a minute, the ETFs for crypto ETFs has been delayed. And you know, I get it, I guess. We've waited so long in this space, in whatever we've been dealing with here forever, that what's another couple days, month or so. It's not that big a deal. I'm willing to wait, but you've got some good ones coming out, and I think if you're looking for some good cryptos to altcoins, well, of course, you know the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs are already out. They've been out for over a year now. So that's done. So you can already invest in those. But some of these other altcoins, I'm climbing this hill, by the way, one of these hills around here, and it's a steep one. And oh, by the way, I'm doing good on keeping my weight down. That's good. And the temperatures in Tennessee have definitely changed. We have dropped. We're in the 60s, I believe, today. It's cloudy though. I think if the sun was out, it would probably not be as cool. But anyway, just a little side note on that. But yeah, so some crypto ETFs that are coming out to look for. The ones I'm looking for, I've got cash on the side. I'm looking to invest in those. I also have holdings in these of the real thing that I have been accumulating for quite a while. Not for a few reasons. One, because I like the projects. I like what they do, and they're solid projects. That's the reason why they're getting ETFs, right? That's a few of the reasons, and because they're getting the ETFs, I think that's another great reason to to get out in front or front run them, so to speak. But I also think when they hit, I'm going to go in with some cash too, because I think these projects are long-term holds. Some of them that I like, that if you're interested, just total not financial advice. You invest in what you like. But there's a slew of them. I mean, I think there's over 100 of them coming out, and some of them are duplicates or multiples of, like, say, Solana. There's a few of those coming out, and some others like XRP. There's going to be, geez, I don't know, well more than, I think, 6 or 7 of them coming out for XRP. So anyway, I like Solana. Solana's a good one. HBAR, Hedera HBAR is another one that I'm going to be accumulating. SEI, SEI is one. SUI, really like SUI. Chainlink is another one. Near Protocol, NEAR, Near, and Avalanche, which is AVAX, AVAX. All of those are going to be hitting here in just a matter of, any moment now. I think we first have to get the government opened up before that happens. And so keep your eye on those. There's a list of them. You can go out there and see, do a search for the crypto ETFs launching soon, and you'll get a list of those. And so keep those on your radar. That's good. I mean, when TradFi can get in, I mean, look at what TradFi has done for Bitcoin and even Ethereum. It's opened up the market for a lot more people to get access to it that aren't interested in doing it on kind of your old crypto exchange and wallets and doing it that way. They just prefer doing it in a TradFi environment, which I don't have a problem with that. I get it. The only drawback is a couple of them. One, you're locked into when it trades during the day, or during the market hours, number one. So during the weekend, you're not going to be able to trade it, so you're stuck there. That's a drawback, and you don't get the real thing. When you go on a crypto exchange and you buy it, and you hold the real thing at that point, and then if you move it off into your own cold storage wallets, now you really own the real thing. And so, but I like to have access to both in my retirement accounts. It's hard to custody your own crypto in your retirement accounts. There are ways to do it, but it's complicated. But most people will just, buy it like they do gold or silver or something like that, where they're just invested in it. They don't actually hold it. So that's fine. Government shutdown. We've talked a little bit about it. We'll see what's going to happen with that. I don't know. These clowns, they're clowns. I mean, what, and it's, I don't know. Whatever side you are on the deal there, I know which side I'm on, but, at some point it's going to open up. Somebody's going to crack. Somebody's going to break. And we'll see when that happens. But in the meantime, actually, I don't think things are doing too bad, if you want to know the truth. I mean, more the government's out of the way, the more things. You notice this too. The government's not is shut down, so we're not getting these unemployment numbers. We're not getting the data that we would normally get, right? Well, we did get the CPI, and I think that was pushed out because the numbers look good. I think Trump wanted that out, and that's fine. But things just seem a lot more, laid back, I guess you could say, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Gold and silver, man, it's flat right now, and that's fine. It went on a tear. It needed to cool off, and it dropped down a nice little clip, but it hasn't like in free fall. It's leveled off. It's chopping. Now's a good time, I believe, to accumulate a little bit more. A little bit. You don't want to say, oh, it's going to go skyrocket, let me go all in. I mean, you always want to have some cash on the side, or dry powder, I like to call it, or it's kind of one of the sayings out there, is to have some dry powder on the side to be able to buy the dips, right? And that's what I've been doing. And this would be buying the real thing, the real gold and the real silver. And like I said to you in the past, you're like, where do you get your gold and silver? I like to go to Scottsdale Mint. And I'll do a video on what to get, the best way to, if you're new to actually buying the real gold and silver, I'll do a video that's just focused on that. Just some things I've learned about investing in it. I mean, there are some do's and don'ts to it, and I'll share that coming up in the future. So be on the lookout for that. There's little tricks and some stuff I've learned maybe help you out. Bitcoin and crypto's chopping along. I think that, and it's been chopping along for what now, a good solid week or two now, and I think you're probably going to see it that way until we get some more catalyst news, some big news that really shoots us up. And I think the macro environment is still a little shaky, but I think the fundamentals, and when you start looking at just some of these cryptos and some of these, Bitcoin, it hasn't changed. I mean, some of the things that really kick it off, those haven't changed. The money supply, we talked about that. There's lots of good things out there that fundamentally haven't changed. It's just we need the catalyst to kick it off. I think more rate reductions are going to help do that. I think the Clarity Act, they're working on that. I hear they're trying to get that done by the end of the year, and that'll be huge. We know we already got the Genius Act, which is stable coins. That's been done now in the big beautiful bills, which is a month or two ago. So that's all of those things haven't changed. I mean, other than a big liquidity grab for people that were leveraging the market, everything is still the same. Nothing's changed, and you just have to know when you're in high risk investments that's just the name of the game, and that's how it goes. The ones who win in the end are the ones who have patience and block the noise out and understand that we're going to have big up days and we're going to have big down days too. But if you're in it for the long haul and you're not what we call lettuce hands or panic selling at every little second you get, you're going to be okay. I mean, if you're in it for the long term, in the end you're probably, and if you're in good stuff, if you're in good projects, if you're in Bitcoin, if you're in Ethereum, if you're in Solana, you're in some of these top projects that have been around, they got huge communities, they got lots of name recognition. If you're in those, you're going to do okay. But if you're in some of these, low market cap, real risky crypto, then you got to expect that they'll go to zero or close to it anyway. They'll basically be worthless. So you really just got to allocate a small percentage of your portfolio to that stuff. And crypto's just kind of chopping along. I think, personally, it's a good time to be accumulating some of the real good ones. I don't think you can go wrong there in doing that. Why not? I mean, don't go all in. Just keep picking away. Just keep dripping a little bit here and there, buying a little bit of Bitcoin, buying a little bit. I mean, Bitcoin's at 110 when I just checked. Ethereum's under, it's about 3,800, 3,900. I think Ethereum under 4 is a buy. Solana was at like 189, 190. Solana under 200. I mean, you got to go get it. Chainlink was like 17, 18 a piece. Oh man, anything under 20 there is really good. I mean, Chainlink is a really long-term hold, so just keep that in mind. I think it's got huge upside because it's the backbone of all of these things crypto that we look at every day. Without Chainlink, none of it happens. Just a little bit of our current situation. I've done a video called Current Situation. I was going to call this another current situation, what we're in, and I appreciate y'all following along. It's great. The channel's doing well. I'm making some adjustments, making some changes, thinking about the future of the channel and where I'm going to go with it, but I'm just trying to get a following right now, and that's happening. Of course, nothing happens overnight, and it's a grind, and anything that I've ever done in my life, entrepreneurial wise, it doesn't happen in a minute. It doesn't happen overnight. It is a long grind, and that's why most people don't make it, is because they quit. They don't have the patience. They just don't have the persistence. They don't have the ability to never give up and grind and keep pushing and keep thinking about what you're doing, keep innovating. That's typically why people fail. is because they just don't have the willpower to keep going. Well, I do, and I'm going to do it. So, I mean, we've got some good things we're working on, not just with the channel, but other business things that we're looking to get involved with. And so that's good. So that's the video for the day, guys. I appreciate you tuning in to my videos. I'm going to keep them coming. And if you want to hear something specific or you got a question, hit me in the comments down there. I reply to about every single one of them, unless they're just scammy or spammy. I don't really respond to those, but you know, I try to respond to everybody, at least now. I can't promise that'll be that way forever. I may get so many people comment, I can't keep up with all of it, but I'll check out my other social media handles. Generation X Guy on X. I also have Instagram, same handle, Generation X Guy. If you're on Facebook, I've got a Facebook page called The Generation X Guy. I'm also on TikTok as Generation X Guy. So the TikTok thing is a little joke as we talk about that. I've been an anti-TikTok guy for a while, and mainly because of all the China influence on it. But I get there's a lot of people out there who are making crazy livings off of it, so I get that side of it too. But now that that there's been a deal done, and Oracle's going to be involved in some other entities as far as controlling the data and the algorithm, that changed my tune. Hey, I'll change. If I get a new set of facts and the variables change, then I will look into making a pivot. I'm not one of these. I'm a very opinionated person, and I've got, you know, my ways, but I'll change. I will change my ways. And if you bring the facts, if I get the facts, you bring me the facts, or the variables change, nothing is constant. So, but anyway, that's the video, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you get notified. Assuming that you want to be, I'd appreciate it. Have a good day. I hope the weather's good where you are. In Tennessee, it's not bad, cold, but I can tell fall is tapping on the door. Kind of feels like Halloween and Thanksgiving is on the way, which is really crazy to think about, because it just seems like we just did this a few minutes ago. And where time flies, man, when you get old. My dad always told me that, and boy, was he not kidding. It does move. So it's funny as you understand these things as you get older. Anyway, that's the video for the day, guys. Thanks. Have a good one. Gen X Guy out. See ya.